Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. As you can see from the title, we are back again with yet another review. Now, before we go ahead and actually dive into the review itself, just like I always do, I want to give a massive shout out to all of my returning subscribers. But if you are new around here, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. If you do want to enjoy this video, please give us a massive thumbs up. Always truly appreciated and only takes a few seconds. And if you do want to reach out to me outside of YouTube, you will be able to find me on Instagram under ACS Sneakers. And now we got all of those formalities out of the way. Sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and dive straight into this video. So first things first, just like we always do, let's just take a quick look at the shoebox. Now, for those of you that don't know, this shoe that we are taking a look at today is part of Nike's new sustainable approach. And with that, we do have the new sustainable box. So Nike have definitely been pushing this whole new initiative of making things less wasteful, which I'm personally all for. I think it's a really great initiative, something that we can all get behind, you know, wanting to go like carbon neutral. So the fact of the matter is we get this like drawn back box, so we don't get that usual sportswear box with this release. And if you do look across the top, it does read, "Move to Zero is Nike's journey towards zero carbon, zero waste to help protect the future of sport." Definitely love, you know, the fact that they're taking that initiative. And then if we do just take a quick look at the label, which reads, it is Nike Air Max 95 SE in the Sesame Wash Teal colorway in a UK size 9, as it is a personal pair. Hopefully that's focusing so you can see that. Then on the inside of the box, we do just have the shoes themselves because, as I say, with this being part of the new sustainable approach, they've removed tissue paper from the shoes, from the inside of the box, and everything's just really stripped back, so you just effectively get the box of packaging and the shoes themselves. But with all of that said, we now just go ahead and dive straight into the shoes. So without any further ado, in hand we have the Nike Air Max 95 Air Sprung. Now, for those of you that aren't necessarily familiar and you've just come to see the review, shout outs to you. I imagine a lot of people that are actually tuning into this video do have a little bit, you know, of an insight into how this shoe came to be and the whole purpose for this shoe. But for those of you that don't, this shoe has been released alongside the Air Max 90 and I think the Air Force 1 as well to be part of the Air Sprung pack. Now, not only is the packaging that you receive the shoe in part of the, you know, carbon neutral stance, but the shoe itself is very much in the same fashion. So when we go throughout the review of the shoe, there's quite a lot of recycled elements to this shoe that are definitely worth noting. But I don't want to like make this video any longer than it needs to be. So just diving straight into the review, starting out with the upper for this one. Now, not only has the upper on this shoe been done in a lot of really nice, vibrant colours, but it also does use a lot of really nice materials as well, including canvas, leather, as well as recycled materials as well. So starting out from the front end to begin with, now at the base we do have this canvas material, and then this has then been overlaid with this sesame coloured, lightly tumbled leather around the toe cap. Now I'm going to be completely honest, the toe cap on this shoe kind of had me stumped, and I did actually have to message a good friend of mine, Scopes, because he did his review before me. Of course, he always beats me to the punch. But to be honest, the material on this doesn't feel like any genuine leather that I've personally had on any of my shoes, or nothing that I could really think to compare it to, you know, right off the bat. He kind of described it as like a cloth material, and it is. It has a really smooth cloth-like texture. But at the same time, from an appearance perspective, it does have that look of tumbled leather. So I'm not sure if it's just recycled, if it's synthetic, or if it's maybe just like a really low quality cut of leather. But don't worry about it, it doesn't really affect the overall value of the shoe or the performance. In terms of the looks, it's absolutely fine. But in terms of the feel, it just doesn't feel like genuine leather, so just something to bear in mind. And then as we do progress ourselves onto the side walls of the shoe, we just get that traditional Air Max 95 paneling done in this really nice mixture of colours. So it is done in a gradient fashion, so it starts a little bit darker at the bottom, and then with each individual layer it starts to get a little bit lighter, and with each individual layer you do actually get a different type of material as well. It feels a little bit like they've used cloth, hemp, leather and canvas. It could be a variation of those materials, and it may not even be all of those materials included, but all in all, the quality, the craftsmanship, especially in terms of how it looks aesthetically and how it feels on foot, definitely no complaints from me. And then as we do work our way even further back the lateral side, on both the left and the right shoe, at the heel, we do have that really nice embroidered teal Nike swoosh. From there, as we do work our way onto the heel of the shoe, now unfortunately, one of my favourite things about the Air Max 95 is the 3M material that they use on the heel. But as you will probably be able to tell just from the video, they actually use more of like a cloth-like material, and it's done in that really nice striking purple, just like what we see on the sidewalls. But because it is cloth, it does mean that it doesn't use any 3M detailing. It is a little bit disappointing. It's not necessarily a massive drawback for the shoe, and it doesn't really affect it overall. But if you like me and you like 3M, it is just a little bit disappointing. And then if we do look at the top portion of the heel, we do have that reddish, pinkish Nike Air branding at the very top. And then as we do circle our way back into the center of the shoe, as you will be able to see, we have more of that really nice purple color. Again, I got to give another shout out to Scopes from his review. He actually compared it to pipe cleaner and he absolutely nailed it. I'm not even going to think of another way to describe it. If you've ever felt pipe cleaners or if you went to primary school in the UK, you'll definitely know what the texture is for this. And then as you can see, the laces themselves have been weaved through these really nice teal coloured eye stays. And then overlaying the lace themselves, we do have that traditional Y-shaped overlay. It's done in a really nice beige colour, but again, just like what we said about the heel, it's done in more of a cloth-like material rather than 3M. So again, it does kind of lose a little bit of something for me because it isn't reflective. If you're not bothered by that, that's absolutely fine for you. But for me, it was just a little bit disappointing. Why? But as we then begin to work our way up the laces to the top of the tongue, we have this really nice mismatched design. As starting with the left foot to begin with, you will be able to see that we do have the Air Sprung branding done in purple and teal. And on the left foot, you will be able to see that we do have that caterpillar design. But then if we take a look at the right foot, again, we have that Air Sprung branding, but this time emerges the butterfly, a really nice detail indeed. Another one of the really nice details about the tongue on this shoe is this stitching that actually runs right the way across the very top of the tongue. For me, it gives it like a distressed or maybe handmade type of feel. It is the same on both shoes as well, and it does definitely add something a little bit different. Probably something that not a lot of you guys are going to care about, but definitely is something that's worth mentioning. And then as we do work our way onto the inside of the shoe, unfortunately, we do have an all-white sock liner. Now, I've had my say in the past as to why I don't like white sock liners, and I'm not going to go through it again just because I feel like I'm repeating myself at this point. But considering all the colours they've used on this shoe, they could have made it beige, they could have made it purple, they could have done anything else with it. For me, the white also kind of looks a little bit jarring in there, doesn't really fit with the rest of the shoe. So for me, it is a little bit of a weird design choice, but again, like we said in other areas of the shoe, doesn't really affect it overall. And then as we do work our way further inside the shoe into the insoles, again, we have more of that mismatched design. As on the left foot, we do have the caterpillar and swoosh, whereas on the right foot, we do have Nike sustainability wheel.
Nice.
And then as we do begin to work our way down the shoe, as you will be able to see, we just get this mostly all white midsole with visible air units towards the forefoot and heel. And within the air units themselves, if you do look closely, we do have this really nice greenish tint. Considering it's an all white midsole, that little splash of colour definitely does the job. And then as we do switch underfoot, we have one of my favourite areas of the shoe, as it's been done in that really nice sesame seed colour throughout. But if you do look underneath the midfoot and heel, we have that little mushroom design with the teal Nike Air branding. Very, very nice touch indeed. Now, for those of you that are watching this video that are considering picking up your very first pair of Air Max 95s, you might be wondering how comfortable is this shoe and what's the sizing like. So in terms of comfort, for me at least, this is definitely a shoe that I can wear all day, anywhere, no matter how far I'm walking or whatever I'm doing. This is definitely a shoe that I can go for. Not everybody feels the same, and I do know that quite a lot of people don't actually like how the 95s feel on feet. So it definitely does come down to an individual preference. So with that said, I would definitely recommend trying a pair in person before maybe ordering online. If this shoe isn't available local to you at any of your shops local to you, just try out any other Air Max 95 in terms of seeing how they feel on feet. That will also give you a little bit of an insight into terms of, what is the best overall sizing. As I kind of touched on at the start of the video, I went true to size with a UK size 9. I do that with every single one of my 95 pickups. and never once have had any issue whatsoever. I would definitely suggest that you do go true to size in whatever you would wear in any other Air Maxes. And in terms of comfortability, it's a very comfortable shoe, I'm not even gonna lie. And other than that, that pretty much just sums up everything that I have to say about this shoe. So if we now just go ahead and wrap up this video. So just to wrap up this video, in terms of my overall opinion on the shoe itself, to give these a rating, I'm going to give these a pretty steady 7 out of 10. For me, if you love the Air Max 95 and you want a summer or spring looking shoe, you definitely can't go wrong with these. The grape aspect to it, really nice. The materials are really interesting and feel pretty good. And as far as my pair is concerned, I had no QC faults, I had no craftsmanship issues. Everything about the shoe was just pretty standard, and you know, for the price point, absolutely no complaints from me. But I would love to get your guys' opinion on it as well. So what do you guys make of the Air Max 95 Air Sprung? Almost forgot the name of the shoe then. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you have stuck around to this point in the video, I just want to say a massive thank you. If you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one.